Hi everyone, welcome back to a new tutorial video. My name is Usetale. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to cut and sew this beautiful simple looking dress with gathers at the sleeve and also at the bottom. Without wasting any time, let's get started. For the making of that dress, I'm going to be making use of this crepe fabric. And what I have here is about 2.5 yards. If you're of a bigger size, you'll be needing up to 3 yards to be able to make the dress. So we are going to be cutting directly on the fabric. So you're going to fold your fabric together into two just like this. Make sure that what you folded together is up to your round hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra 5 inches. So at the top here, you're going to be ruling a straight line, which is going to be for your starting line. Now you're going to take your body measurement. You're going to bring your tape down by about 1/2 inch, which is going to be for the sewing allowance. So you mark the bust line. You come down here, you're going to mark the hip line. So here's my hip line. So after you are done marking the hip line, you're going to take the length of the upper side of the dress, okay? So the full length of the dress I'm making is 36 inches and the gathers at the end is going to be about 6 inches long. So 36 minus 6 is going to give me 30. So I'm going to mark 13 here. I'll add extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. I'll come forward here to mark the same thing, the bust line here, so the hip line, then 30, 31 inches. After that, you're going to rule the straight lines with your straight ruler. After you are done doing that, at the top here, you're going to take your shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus 1/2 inch. For the sewing allowance, remember we are cutting directly on fabric. So here you come down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. You're going to take the neck width. I'm going to be making use of neck width of 3.5 inches. So you're going to connect your shoulder slope just like this. After you are done doing that, here you're going to come down by your round bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 to get your armhole depth. So just measure what you have here. Make sure you have the same thing here as well. So after doing that, you're going to connect the lines. Roll a straight line up. Then you roll it out just like this. So guys, after you're done doing that, now you're going to divide what you have here into two to get half of it. So half of it is here. From that mark, you're going to go in by 1/2 inch. Now to get your bust measurement, remember we are sewing a free dress, right? My bust measurement is 36, but because it's a free dress, I will add extra 2 inches to my bust measurement. So I'm going to be making use of 38. So 38 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5. So I'm going to be marking 9.5 here. So after you're done marking, you add 1 inch for sewing allowance. Now you're going to connect your armhole. So just place your curve ruler, connect it to meet the point there, then you connect it to the shoulder. Now you are going to come to the hip line. You're going to be taking your round hip measurement. So my round hip measurement is 40 inches. But because it's a free dress, I will add extra 4 inches to my round hip measurement. So I'll make use of 44. So you're going to divide 44 by 4. It will give me 11. So I'm going to mark 11 on my hip line. So I'll also add 1 inch, which is going to be for sewing allowance. So I'm going to connect. I'll connect from the armhole area. I'll connect it all the way to the hip, just like this. Then I'll connect it down to the full length, to the last line that I have here. Now the next thing is to mark out the neck. So this piece you are seeing here is what I'm going to be using to cut both the front and the back. So I'm going to be marking out the neck for the front and the back. So I mark out my neck width, which is 3.5. Then here I will come down by 1 inch for the depth of the neck of the back. So for the V neckline of the front, I'm just going to come down like this. I'll come down by 8 inches. 8 or 9 inches. If you want your neck to be deeper, you can use 8.5. You can use 9. If you don't want it deep, you can even use 7.5. So you draw your V neckline. So I'm just going to cut. You can see I've not cut the neck yet. I will cut the neck after I'm done cutting the second piece for the back. So I'm going to use this now to cut out another one for the back piece. So guys, this is it for the cutting. We have the front and the back pieces. Now the next thing we are going to cut is the sleeve. You're going to fold your fabric together into two. So I'm going to be using this fabric to cut the two sleeves. So I cut it in a way that is enough for the two sleeves. So and I folded it together into four. What I have is about 11 inches wide. So the full length of my sleeve is about 27 inches. So 27 minus the one that is going to be for the gathers. So that's going to be 6 inches. 27 minus 6 will give me 21. So I'm going to be cutting out this part of the sleeve using 21 inches. So I'm just going to mark it. 21 plus extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I will cut it out using 22. So that was what I marked, 22. Then you rule a straight line. Now for the sleeve cap here, I'm going to come down by 5 inches. I'm just going to curve it down to meet that 5 inches mark that I made. Can you see what I'm doing? So just curve it out like this. It is not something that is difficult. So after doing that, now you're going to take your round armhole measurement divided by 2. My round armhole is 18. Divided by 2 will give me 9. So I marked it and I added extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. Now the next thing is your round arm. My round arm is 14 divided by 2 is 7. I marked it and I also added the sewing allowance. At the end here, I want it to be as wide as 18 inches. So divided by 2, that will give me 9. I'm going to mark it. Then I will also add the sewing allowance. You're going to go ahead and connect it with your ruler. Then after connecting, you're going to cut it out. So guys, this is what you're going to have. So just notch the middle here and the same thing to this side as well. So this is it for the sleeve. I went ahead to cut out all the other pieces that we need off camera. So I'm just going to explain to you guys what I have. So here was the sleeve that we cut out, the two sleeves that we cut out. Then for the bodies, I went ahead to cut out the one I'm going to use to turn the neck. So I cut out this piece for the turning of the back neck and this one for the front neck. So what I cut out is about 2 inches wide. Can you see? So that's it. The same thing to the back as well. So after doing that, I went ahead to cut out the ones that I'm going to use for the end of the sleeve. So this is the sleeve that we cut out, right? So the one that is going to be underneath the sleeve, I've cut it out and I took it to market to weave it. So what I cut out, I measure my sleeve, what I have, I times it by 2, and that's how wide these pieces that you are seeing is. So I times it by 2, then I cut it out to be that wide. You can see it's even more than times 2. So that's what I'm going to be using for the gathers. And for the length, I cut it out using 6.5. So the ½ inch, I'm going to use it to hem it when I'm sewing. So guys, these are the two pieces that are going to be for the gathers for the sleeve. So this one here is going to be for the gathers for the bodies. So I also cut it out using times 2 of what I have. So I open out my fabric, I measure what I have, I cut out times 2 of it. So times 2 of 26, that is how long this piece that you are seeing is. So that's what we are going to gather at the end of the fabric. You can see I also took it to market to weave it to give it that nice finishing. So that is it, guys. That is how I cut out all these other pieces that you didn't see. Now it's time to sew, and the first thing I'm going to do is I will take these pieces to the sewing machine. I'm just going to hem it round, and I'll also hem the other side here. So after you are done doing that, this is what you're going to have. Now you're going to sew it on the neck of your fabric. Open up your fabric just like this. Take the piece, you're going to place it on your fabric. Then you take it to your sewing machine to sew it down. After doing that, you do the same thing to the back piece. So this is what I had after sewing. and I did the same thing to the back. You can see. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to join the shoulders. So I'm going to place the front piece on the back piece. So I'll take the shoulder just like this. Then I'll place it at the shoulder of the back. Then this piece, I will use it to cover it up. Then you take it to your sewing machine to sew. You do the same thing to the other one. So guys, after you are done joining the shoulders, this is what you're going to have it looking like. So you're just going to fold it together like this, then you place it aside. I'm going to bring the sleeves. I've already worked on it to an extent. So these long pieces, I took them to the sewing machine and I hemmed it. And for the sleeve, I also weave the mount. So I use my overlock machine to weave the mount of the sleeve. Now I'm going to bring the sleeve, the part where I weaved, right? I'll take it to the sewing machine, then I will sew it 2 times using my gathered stitches. So after I'm done doing that, now I'm going to pull the thread to give it the gather effect. So just go ahead and do it exactly the way I am doing it. After pulling the gathers, this is what you're going to have. The two of them are ready. Now I'm going to bring the sleeve. I will open it up on the table just like this. I will take one of the gathers. I'm going to place it on top of the sleeve. Then I'll take it to the sewing machine to sew. So this is what you're going to have after sewing. Can you see? And I did the same thing to the other sleeve as well. Now it's time to sew the sleeve to your bodies. So open up your fabric on the table. Then go ahead and sew the sleeve to it. Then you do the same thing to the other side. After I was done sewing the sleeves, this is what I have. Can you see? It's looking so pretty, guys. And this is the other sleeve here. Now I've gone ahead to weave the mount of the dress where I'll be placing the gathers, and I've also make gathers to these other pieces for the end of the dress. Now I'm going to be sewing them to the end of the dress. So just open up your dress, then take one of the piece. So go ahead and sew it to the end just like this. Then you do the same thing to the other side. So after you are done doing that, now it's time to join it together. So just place your fabric together, place the sleeve together. You're going to join it down using 1 inch, which is the sewing allowance that we added. So guys, this is what you're going to have after you are done joining. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be hemming the neck area here. So I'll just use my needle and thread, hand needle and thread to hem it. And that will be basically all for the making of this dress. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I will see you all in my next one.